month massacre. 1,400 Israelis slaughtered by Hamas, women raped, babies beheaded, over 200 hostages taken to Gaza. ISIS-level savagery. And when Democrats and Republicans in Congress came together to denounce these barbaric acts of terror, Cori Bush refused to stand with Israel.
Cori Bush is one of 4 squad members already facing well-funded 2024 primary challengers. Bush took the seat in 2020, beating out a 10-term incumbent, Lacey Clay. Next year, she'll go up against St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell. Bell dropped out of the U.S. Senate race to take on Bush over her stance on Israel. Summer Lee, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman will also have a fight to keep their seats in the upcoming primary. And big money awaits anyone willing to challenge pro-Hamas members of Congress. With us now, Ryan Grim, D.C. bureau chief for The Intercept, out with a new book on the squad. It comes out next week, named The Squad. Ryan, help us understand here, because it seems as though this was sort of this always out there on the periphery of issues with the squad as it relates to Israel. There was always talk, obviously, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib as well. And now, October 7th, and this has catapulted the Israel issue to the very forefront for him.
A significant chunk of the book is, though, about this pushback, because if you followed them kind of day in and day out, you saw that in response to the swearing in of the first 2 Muslim women of Congress, there was a big money pro-Israel operation set up called Democratic Majority for Israel, specifically to counter them. And I would take issue, though, with the description of them as pro-Hamas. To me, Hamas feeds itself on injustice, on endless war, on occupation. The Likud party, which is run by Netanyahu, has publicly stated that their position is that they want to manage the conflict. They want an endless occupation. That Benjamin Netanyahu just the other day said, the reason I need to stay as prime minister is I'm the only one that can prevent the Palestinian state.
I'll go back and forth with you on this. I would say that if you're pushing for a ceasefire that even Hillary Clinton says only helps Hamas, then you're pro-Hamas. I'd say there was no occupation of the Gaza Strip. We can go back and forth. I want to get to the book here.
Blockade of it, though. Yeah.
Help us understand, though. How much of this is sincerely held belief? How much of this is the far left of the Democratic Party? So many people have been so surprised by this enormous upswell, and I'll use your terminology, this enormous upswell for the Palestinian cause, at the expense of sometimes of Israel's right to defend itself. You saw that coming. Why? How?
So in 2008, right after President Obama was, right after he was elected, but before he was sworn in, Netanyahu used that moment to launch a major invasion of the Gaza Strip, one of several that has happened over the last several decades. And in the wake of that, an organization was formed called J Street, which became kind of like a counter to AIPAC. It was kind of a pro-peace, pro-Israel organization that finally created some space inside the Democratic Party to say, you know what, we support the right of Israel to exist. We support the right of Israel to defend itself. But perhaps there shouldn't be 2 different tiers of justice for people who are under occupation by the Israelis. But perhaps there should be some conditions on aid attached so that Israel isn't just carpet bombing or indiscriminately bombing entire regions. Today they announced that the southern region needs to be evacuated. They've already evacuated and flattened the entire northern part of Gaza.
I've spent a lot of time on the ground covering this, from both Gaza and from Israel. I've never seen the Israelis carpet bomb, but congratulations on the book. We're up against a hard break, but I want to have you back next week to keep talking about this. It's important, and hopefully get you in studio. Congratulations on the book. You see it behind him, The Squad, that now has a big part in the future of the Democratic Party. Ryan, thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.